Hi everyone, welcome to this session on AI in schools. This is another meetup that we have for productive screen time for children at KidsNagri. This will be the agenda that I thought, but before I go there, just quickly introducing myself again. My name is Ashutosh. I'm the founder of KidsNagri, and our aim is to basically make screen time of children more productive wherever they are in the world, right? So that's a little bit about me. So in this session, we'll try to cover very quickly the overview of AI. I know a lot of you already know about it, so I won't get too deep into that, and that's not the purpose of the session anyway. Then we'll look at some of the global trends in AI education and schools. We'll try to cover what CBSE is trying to do with the artificial intelligence curriculum in India, and then a little bit of note on the state board's AI curriculum and some of the challenges that I see, but feel free to kind of jump in with your kind of inputs as well. And then if there are any Q&A, of course, if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat window and we can take it at the right time. Yeah. So let's go forward. So overview of artificial intelligence. I think all of us know here that artificial intelligence is basically trying to mimic the human brain-like intelligence, at least the first two parts, which is the narrow and the general artificial intelligence. Of course, artificial intelligence aims to go even beyond that. Most of the projects or activities or what has been done in the world today basically conforms to part A only, which is the narrow artificial intelligence. Scientists aim to get to general artificial intelligence, but that's still kind of a lot of work, and hopefully once that happens, I really hope that's for human good rather than kind of doing something bad to the human community, right? And of course, super artificial intelligence is really away as of now. Things like machine learning, deep learning, neural network are all kind of part of which kind of makes artificial intelligence possible. Machine learning is primarily the set of algorithms and the tools which kind of help on the AI side and other activities. Deep learning is a more specialized field of machine learning. Again, as I said, I'll quickly cover on this because I want to cover the topic at hand, which is how AI is being kind of conceived in schools in India. And then the neural networks. Another important area in artificial intelligence is natural language processing, which is basically used in activities like language translations, or maybe a lot of chat GPT activity that you saw 6 months back was primarily NLP based, understanding the documents, giving you answers to it, and so on. Then very important field is robotics, fuzzy logic, computer vision. So this is primarily making machine do human tasks, right? And of course, there's a lot of machine learning, deep learning, computer vision involved in that. And in this whole process, we don't want to forget about the whole planning and knowledge process, expert decision systems, and making AI to have some kind of a perception down the line, which basically results into a greater artificial intelligence. Right. So why I wanted to cover this slide is because at least we know the gamut of AI, so that once we start discussing the curriculum, we can relate back to what it is there in the real world and how schools are adopting to all those requirements. Okay, so global trends in AI education and schools. So when I did a little bit of research, and of course, this is primarily me and my team doing this research, of course, there could be a larger picture. So feel free to kind of validate some of these findings. But the primary school Most of the places in the world are generally giving basic introduction to artificial intelligence. What are the use cases? How it is present around us, and maybe telling a little bit about the kids using gamified way, right? A scratch programming of the word, and basically showing a little bit of chat GPT, how that works using a game, and how the AI is present in the nature or in the science or in the medical field, or even around us in the games on the mobile phone and so on. But at the secondary and high school level is where it gets a little bit more serious, where kids start learning Python as a programming language, because a lot of work or tools which are available on machine learning, deep learning side have been developed using this language. So there's a dedicated AI, machine learning, deep learning, and Python courses now at the secondary and high school level. And then a lot of it becomes project based learning. So it's not just like theory. There's a lot of partnerships with the tech companies, the competitions happening, and even the curriculum itself has a lot of smaller projects to begin with in this area for the learning purpose. And then you'll find a lot of clubs like robotics club and artificial intelligence clubs, which local kind of efforts would be there, or even some larger company could be kind of playing around that as a kind of business model. And within all of this, I think partnership with tech companies and the government and policy support is required, which is coming into the play. So the partnership with the tech companies is, of course, happening faster because they need talent. They want to kind of catch talent early. They want to make sure that kids in the school are learning about a lot of these new things which are going to evolve over the next 5 or 10 years. And then government policy supports, I think there most of the things are being defined at AI ethics level, what to do, what not to do, what should be the laws around it, people not crossing the boundaries like deep fake of the word, and so on, right? So that's where the government role is important. And of course, at a government school level, or at a kind of low income family level, government also need to provide a lot of support on the infra side and making things available so that uh, people don't get left out just because they don't have the right means to kind of go to the private schools, right? So that's very important as well. So I'll take a pause if anyone has any questions. I'll just look at the chat window quickly, or if you want to unmute, that's fine as well. Great, so let's move on. Now let's look at what CBSE in India is doing with their artificial intelligence curriculum, right? Uh, so there are a lot of things which are happening. Their FAQs still say that class 9 to 12th, I just looked at their site today, and again, just to cross check, nothing has changed since we kind of started discussing this topic. And still the curriculum that you see is from 9 to 12th, even though there's a lot of buzz on getting an AI curriculum in earlier classes. If you go to Amazon site in India, you will find all sorts of published books out there where the people have mentioned CBSE code for classes earlier than 8. I don't know how much of that is true. I'll let you kind of validate that with your own sources. But right, and then as per Education Policy 2020, because skill-based education is becoming more and more important, CBSE wants to introduce coding and AI as a skill-based education for classes 6 to 8. And a lot of this is being done in collaboration with Microsoft. So if you look at a lot of newspaper sources as of May 2023, a lot of that is kind of being planned. I see that a couple of schools are trying to kind of go ahead and do it and introduce a little bit of the curriculum on their own, or use these books which various kind of authors have written and available, trying to kind of introduce that as a curriculum. But strictly that's not officially available on the CBSE website as far as I could find it. But feel free to kind of validate that again. Uh, in classes 6 to 8, probably it would be more coding based AI games, as I mentioned in the primary section in the global AI education trend. So that's where a lot of emphasis is being happening, and also telling about the basic artificial intelligence concepts, things like what are patterns, or where does artificial intelligence is used in our day-to-day life, and so on. Right. So at KidsNagri, we took a small shot as well at this. We created a recorded course on artificial intelligence, good for people in 6 to 10 years, kind of a range. There's a story-based approach. So we have like created a stories like a girl talking to trees about artificial intelligence, and in the process, kids learn about it. So very very low priced, probably as good as buying a book, and you also get a lot of quizzes and stories to basically go with that. But yeah, moving on very quickly. I don't want to make it a more like uh, a lot of marketing on that. But yeah, coming back to the CBSE curriculum side. So class 9th and 10th is where it gets serious. So class 9th, CBSE has a lot of applications of AI being taught to the students, then SDGs and AI ethics, then AI project lifecycle, neural network coding in Python. Now, if you relate it back to the original, the first slide that I showed you, a lot of this starts flowing from there now, which students now need to understand. And class 10th, again, advanced Python and AI lifecycle based projects, data science, computer vision, NLP. So a lot of it that was kind of missing suddenly comes in class 9 and 10th, and it's kind of pretty heavy load that happens there on the AI learning side. I personally think some of this can be shifted down to class 6 to 8, which is now what strategy looks like, and I think that will be a great thing to do. But let's see how it pans out over next 1 or 2 years. And then class 11th and 12th becomes understanding the underlying principles of AI. So math for AI, like understanding metrics and set theory, getting into ethical decision making, AI values. So going deeper into that, what to do, what not to do with AI. Data analysis, even though kids today even learn in third, fourth, fifth with Excel, but you go deeper, you start using databases at this level. So it becomes very interesting. And then machine learning, really concept of regression, classification, clustering, all that deeper concept come into the play. Very interesting thing, which is very important actually on the decision based projects, is storytelling and visual representation, creative thinking, right? So this is I think more of an art which everyone who's trying to kind of make decision products in AI, and this I'm saying more from the industry experience that I have in this field, having worked for 20 plus years in various kind of data engineering and analytics projects. I can say that this piece, one line, is storytelling, visual representation, creative thinking, becomes like a very, very important aspect anyone trying to kind of get into making the decision products using AI. Class 12th, again, capstone projects. So I listed down some of the projects that I see students are doing nowadays: smart home automation, AI powered chatbot, personal health assistant, image recognition system, right? So these are like good exposure to even school students. And one of the very amazing thing I found is machine learning model lifecycle has been listed in class 12. Now, this is one area where I have personally seen people who are young engineers, after doing their engineering, coming to kind of software development immediately after that, and working in data science, not understanding completely or not having skills in that area. So if say school students can early on understand this machine learning model life cycle in its true crux, whereas like developing the model, training the model, right, and testing the model, deploying the model, if you understand that life cycle really well, at a school level itself, at least parts of that, that will be really, really helpful down the line in your engineering studies. Okay, then what are state boards doing? So again, I've taken up a couple of media reports. So coding and AI to be introduced in UP schools, benefiting millions of students. So report list about 50 lakh students. So there are crores of students studying in UP schools. And this will be a great initiative once it happens. This report is as new as 2024. There are again similar announcements by various state boards. Some of them are already kind of trying to experiment artificial intelligence in school. So a lot of states are doing that actually. But what I saw as a distinction at the state board level is there's a strong emphasis on coding, networking, and basic AI application. So they are basically doing the full set rather than dealing with artificial intelligence standalone. What they're doing is they're kind of doing programming. They're also telling networking, which they already were doing, and then trying to kind of bring AI as a part of that curriculum itself rather than doing it separately. Of course, more hands-on projects in curriculum and tie-ups with private players need to be observed. Like CBSE clearly has partnerships with Intel, Microsoft, right, even IBM at some level, at various places or in few projects as a research, again validate that information. But at a state level, again, all these partnerships can further help boost the whole artificial intelligence curriculum. Okay, so some of the challenges, I think some of the challenges and are getting addressed, like government and policy support, at least at a policy level in new education policy has been there on the skill-based education. Um, Even the tie-ups with private players, industry to make curriculum align well to future requirements is coming along. There have these partnerships have started to happen. A lot of credits have started to flow in into school, and a lot of emphasis is there where people want more than 50% of the curriculum to be actually practical based rather than a lot of theory out there. But the two areas where a lot of work still needs to be done is the teacher training and the readiness of teachers to actually teach this curriculum to the students. And not only just the theory part, but can they align themselves to the real problems which are happening or being solved at the industry level? And can they solve at least in bits and pieces those problems with their students in the class? Now that will take a lot, I think, at the scale that we're talking about in India. But this is something that would require a lot of effort, both from public and private players to make it happen. And then, of course, the access to labs and devices for hands-on in school. Of course, elite private schools already have it, but how do we make sure that it kind of goes down to the tier 3, tier 4 cities, even in government schools, and basically access to these labs and devices? So that's where a lot of CSR activities and needs to happen, both from the private side as well as from the foundations of the world, right? So those are some of the challenges that I thought are important. If anyone has any inputs on any other challenges that you see, feel free to kind of jump in, or if you have any